Shalom everybody, חג שמח. شروع کردیم پروسس شوشنا پوریم، روز دوم پوریم و امیدوارم که زمان پرمنفعتی بوده برای همگی. I have to go back to English. I hope that everybody enjoyed this holiday, and it's a holy day with WHOLLY, because this is the holiday that makes us to allow us the opportunity to expand ourselves. So to speak, we get the opportunity, a new extra neshama, ruach, and nefesh to be added to us. That means to have an opportunity to make more kli, so we can bring in more of our neshama. And at the same time, cleanse the channels that is between 248 parts of our body, the body that is in this world, and the 248 part that is in the upper world. And these two are connected through 248 channels of the light. And when there is an interruption into the flow of Shefa in those channels, that's when a sickness in one of the members of the body really occurs. Now, Rav in the 5th class explains the Shorashei Neshamot. The Shorashei Neshamot, as Rav explained, they are really started originally 613 nitzutzim, holy sparks. And these 613 holy sparks, they are shorashei kola every neshama. Why? Because Adam Kadmon, Adam Rishon, had 248 parts of the body and 365 nervous system connecting all those parts. And each equivalent to a mitzvah, and each is a part of an holy spark of a neshama on a different levels, being 5 different levels of nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechida, and at the same time, as far as the sefirot is concerned, keter, chokhmah, bina, zeir, anpin, malchut. And as far as the olamot is concerned, we are concerned with the olam of Atzilut. Atzilut is olam machshava. It's olam shel or chokhmah. Bria, the or neshama. Yetzira, or ruach. And the nefesh, or olam asiyah. So this 613 shorashim divides in 600,000 nitzutzim. And this 600,000 nitzutzim completes the Am Yisrael. There is not one extra, not one less. This is exactly the total of nitzutzim that we have to correct. Rav explained that at the time that Chava got close to Satan, Nachash, as Gemara explains, Rav explained that there was a zivug on that level between Nachash and Chava. And therefore, a lot of bad nitzutzei neshamot got mixed in the good one. This is where the good and bad got mixed up. And now we are here as a 600,000 nitzutzim to cleanse and differentiate, להבדיל between the good and the bad. Now, Rav explained another concept of what is bitul atzmi, bitul chokhmah, bitul self-cancellation. What is self-cancellation? It's called teshuvah. Rav explained you have to cancel your ego. By canceling your ego, you are really able to make a teshuvah. Because as long as you have that ego to decide, for you it's not easy to make a teshuvah. You are not able to accept, to correct yourself. One has to accept to correct itself. So Harav brought a subject, and I'm just summarizing in name of Maga. The word Maga. That's the question that Mr. Kobe asked.
Thank you.
The problem of what is Maga. Maga is a mishkal, geder. Mishkal means a balance, a scale. Gimel stands for the geder. Geder means fences, limits. And haba'ah, a future. Now what that means? First, let's Rav explain what mishkal is. The point is we are only can receive shefa if our channels, the 613 channels that they rebuild and rejuvenate, 248 of them by doing 248 mitzvot, and 365 lo ma'aseh, not to do the things that we should not do. Those mitzvot are for our sake to cleanse the channels between mayim tachtonim, mayim elyonim, what is down here and what's up there. We are connected. And when the channels are flowing beautifully, and that's when we cleanse ourselves. That's why when we make teshuvah, it's impossible that we exist in this world, even though we might be tzaddik, and not have an avon or cheta or pesha to correct. And by correcting and receiving flow of shefa, therefore I can transfer the energy and the knowledge and have the power of expression and the capability of healing. As we said, Abraham, by going through 10 nisyanot, 10 exams, he cleansed himself to the extent that honestly became healer. Even he healed Lot, his Yetzer Hara. He was able to control the 5 senses. Rav talked about feeling. Explained that there are only 6 categories of feeling. Six categories. I would like to remind those 6. I mean, I say it by heart. Kane'ah, jealousy. Da'aga, to worry. To be angry. To hate, to to be sad. There are 6 negative energies, feelings we have. Now, and then Rav explained, if somebody does not good to you, that means to your opinion, you think it was not fair. The concept of unfairness comes. Then these 6 feelings, they become emotion. They find energy. They want to burst out. Those are negative feelings. But then there is 2 feelings, which is love and joy, that when they get excited, they give you tremendous amount of koach and power. So what Rav explained is that you have to get, when your negative feelings, they appear in you, they open up, or they show emotion, keep the energy. Rav says this is a good energy, this is energy, emotion. Energy starts with energy, but change the motion. That means change the direction. That is the key of success. You become angry, in a way it's a blessing, but you can use that energy of anger not toward the negative producing negative feelings and converting the negative feeling into the negative emotion. By changing the direction, you can take the anger and convert it either to joy or happiness. Because when you realize that you are reacting towards somebody that is a matter of exciting a feeling in you and excites the negative feeling in you. So you have to realize, where is the weakness? Where is in you the weakness? Irrelevant of a person is smart or idiot or whatever. Everything happens around us. It's a mirror to give us information, to give us a hand of cleansing ourselves and keep the channel from below and above. Because everything is cooked in the rakia. Rav says there is a mayim elyonim, mayim techdonim, and the mayim, it becomes like a pest. It becomes, when it comes to the mayim, it's an ore, and the ore comes as a mayim, and mayim comes to the rakia, creates a rakia, creates a creation. So the creation, what Rav is explaining, starts really from rakia. When the sperm of the father that starts from his head goes through 18 knobs of your spine cord and reaches all the way at the bottom, that sperm gets cooked, and what it comes, that sperm creates a rakia and brings along with chai, livelihood of exactly capability of creating, so to speak, a clone of yourself. And that's why I honestly look at Purim as a time that I have an opportunity to clone myself to become a better person. עד אוזן חותם פה, עד עוד נשמה, עוד רוח נפש, that makes a better clone than who I am. And honestly, we are cloning ourselves. And Yetziat Mitzrayim is the preparation, that cloning process to start. As we explained, we have to go through שלושת עיבורים, regalim, to bring this finality. And the finality production is תוספת, extra, to reclone myself. I would like to go back to Maga, Mishkal. I make a scene. I made the scene. Rab brought the example. You made you lost a baby, not lost a baby, but you made artificial loss. I forgot, abortion. Now, how do you pay for it? That's a very high sin. It's like killing. So how do you make for it? He says, well, you killed one neshama, go and save 40 neshama, 2 neshama, 10 neshama. That's a mishkal, equal mishkal. That means you took the opportunity for a neshama to come to this world and go through the process of growth. Therefore, be a cause, equivalent to be a cause so other neshamot can get elevated and become better. Save life. Save other babies. Help other women not to go through abortion. That's mishkal. I against I. But you find the mishkal and see what it is, the mishkal that you have to really make up. There are variation of finding the mishkal. Then, as soon as you went through an experience, put yourself a limit. Don't repeat your mistakes again. That's why you need to put gather. You have to put you a gather not to repeat your mistakes. That putting together shows that your teshuvah was with integrity. And Rav brought the word integrity, sincerity, temimut. That's a large word. That's not an easy character to have. That inside and outside of me is the same. That's a sincere person. That's integrity. That your inside and your outside is the same. So then Mishkal and Geded and then Haba'ah. What is Haba'ah? Listen. Forgive yourself and forget. Look future. If you want to go back, as Rav explained, like the wife of Lot, and all the time go back and live in the past and look at all the misery things that happened to you, and question and try to justify your mistakes and etc., you never will go forward. And that's what Rav explained Maga, that it is very important. And then the word integrity in it. And then Rav came to the conclusion of you cannot hold everything in. You got to have a chance to discharge, to empty yourself. It is extremely important for me to release myself. And I absolutely agree that 8 steps that you can really go through this release. And Rav gave us the 8 steps. Like example as a music, an exercise, most important exercise music, talking, writing. Those are the sex. There are 8 ways that one has to release itself. Okay? But that's releasing. How do you do this releasing? Yes, you listen to music. What that listening to music should do to me is to contemplate. Is to contemplate. First, you take the steam out to be able to relax, to find the moment, observe the moment, realize that you are alive, that you have a purpose. For that, you have to calm down. So that's the ways that you bring yourself to recognize that you are alive and take the moment of this life to see from where you came and where you're going. Have time for yourself. Pay attention to your purpose. Recognize your days and recognize who you are. Get to know yourself more and more. Now, עשייה קרתינה, healer. We want to essentially be all healers. But healers is not just by saying and by knowing certain law. No. It's a hard work from inside. To cleanse to outside. Again, to clean all the channels between the below and the above. And the only thing that hampers all my channels is 6 bad feelings that produces 6 horrible emotions. Do you know how much jealousy takes out of you? Zohar Kadosh says that when a man is jealous, the feeling of jealousy is his punishment. Imagine how much this pain can cause sickness in my body. Because jealousy has many forms, so many forms this sickness can form in our body, chas v'shalom. Just to start with jealousy. Because that jealousy brings everything else. Arya Kadosh, I especially recommend for my students who are speaking Farsi, based on what Rav Armoni has taught us what Mesirat Nefesh is. I've given a lecture in regards what really Mesirat Nefesh. Mesirat Nefesh is Maim Nukvim. It's how you respond to the goodness of Hashem. It's very simple. My response is called Maim Nukvim. It's the effort, the hishtokakut, the desire that I show into coming and making yichud with the light of Hashem. Now we talked about teshuvah because the whole thing is tashuv hey. Is this malchut, all we need to do is to make this Mishkan, to clean the Mishkan, because if Shekhinah is, you made the Mishkan, if your goof, if your body is the Mishkan, and the Shekhinah is residing in it, oh, trust me, you will have your every word that comes out of you and every touch that you touch, it's going to be healing. The point is that we got to make that Mishkan. We have to understand that above us there is a Adon Olam, and I am here to take his commandments, his pekudot. If I want Geula, if I want Cherut, if I want freedom from my own Haman, I need to connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu. In order to connect to Kadosh Baruch Hu, I have to have a Mishkan. I have to be clean for its Shekhinah, because Kadosh Baruch Hu unites with this Shekhinah. Whoever is owner of the Shekhinah, that's where HaKadosh Baruch Hu meyached ito. It becomes one with it, because of the love that he has for Shekhinah. And if Shekhinah is in the Galut, that means it's not revealed, it's a Sa'ar. It's a pain for Shekhinah, and Hashem is not bemenucha when Shekhinah is in Sa'ar, in Galut. So the whole aspect of Purim is a Hachana, is 1 month before Nisan. Moed Nisan. Yetziat Mitzrayim. And the Hachana is most important. And the Hachana starts with Purim. With Teshuvah with Ahava. That's called Mesirat Nefesh. Now, Harav in a Haktama, Harav Arya Kadosh Zichrono Baracha Hakdama Kaf Aleph, and I'm just going to read you a section, and then we go to your question and have deeper understanding of what Rav is really teaching us. We have something called Teshuvah, and that's something we call Gilgul, and something we call Tselem. Daki ha-teshuvah hi be'ima. You should know that what we talk Teshuvah concerning Shekhinah, Ima. The mother nature, Elokim, Dinim. Hagilgul hu ba'aba. But your Gilgul, since your potential, you have to reach your potential. Who gives you your potential? Your father. The Abba. Chokhmah. It comes from the world of Ein Bet. The force of mother comes from the world of Sag. Those are terminology Rav taught us. So he says Gilgul is connected to Abba. However, Teshuvah, that means to correct yourself, to cleanse yourself, to elevate yourself, to learn how to do the mitzvot, to do how to cleanse the channels and open all the channels. Because, as we explained, Abraham is 248. Second Abraham, 248 Balavit plus 248, that becomes Malchut. That means Malchut completes. If my 248 party of down here unites with 248 part of me upstairs through the channels. And these channels go through Rakia, Shamayim, Because for a rakia in this creation is the shamayim. And we are at the bottom of rakia, and the mayim elyonim shechina is the top of rakia. And teshuvah means to take the hay tachton, the hay which is lower, to take it all the way up. But we say teshuv hay. Now we said there are 3 levels of teshuvah, altogether 8 levels of teshuvah. The 3 level is your nefesh, ruach, neshama. The concept of 500. Milui of Shin Daled Yud. That means to be able to put all the 12 gvulim in your life. That means certain midot of rachamim is established in your mind and in your life, in your character. Your midot goes by 13 midot of rachamim. There are 5 teshuvah, which is the 5 teshuvah elyonash, the 5 partsufei olam atzilut. And the last letter that Rav wrote us is that not only you have to make malchut of shamayim, which is malchut of atzilut, which is one partsuf, to connect to the zeirampin. Zeirampin of atzilut to connect to the bria. That means the neshama, ruach, and nefesh, ruach, and neshama shel olam atzilut. That 3 partsufim as well to connect. And then you have to cause Abba ve'ima to connect. And then you connect to Arichampin, 5 partsufim. And Rav is explaining, until we don't satisfy what is above us, we cannot get any response, Mayim duchrim. We got to elevate Mayim nukvim in order to the action of the above to below to be excited by the Mayim nukvim that we send up. What is Mayim nukvim? We explained. That's Mesirat Nefesh. That is to give your nefesh, your time, your neshama, and the place you are to Hashem. L'Shem yichud kedisha berichu. So daki התשובה היא באימה. והגלגול הוא באבא. ולכן מי שחטא, whoever that makes a sin, אם יעשה תשובה, if he makes תשובה, who made him to make a sin? His ego. His ego. Because for a pleasure, to self-satisfy, he made a sin. Now he wants to make a teshuvah as ima aliyah hanikra teshuvah. Then he has to deal with ima aliyah. He has to come with to Shekhinah. Because she is the teshuvah. Now she is the source of simcha. You can only get source of simcha va'ahava when you make a teshuvah. That means when you correct yourself, when you cleanse yourself, when you see one of your channels is blocked. You know, when you want to use the dryer, my wife advised me, if you want to dryer and you want to really make your clothes really dry, there is a filter on top. Take the filter, clean the filter, put it back, and your dryer will work 10 times better. Same thing. You want really flow of shefa? Clean these characters of yours. They are altogether 6 characters in us, that 6 feelings, that I have to be in charge of them. This 6 negative feeling, as soon as somebody I feel injustice is done to me, one of those feelings becomes very horrible negative energy. And when there is a negative energy, that's the ignition for sickness. Very simple. So here it says, Yesh beyada letaken pagam adam. When you connect to Shekhinah, Shekhinah has the capability to... Now, how do I connect to Shekhinah? Shekhinah is Adonai, Shekhinah is Elokim. The Miluim. Rav gave us the name to connect. When I connect, we connect to Abba ve'Ima. I connect to source of everything. That's the Yichud of Shema Israel. That is the power of Shema Israel. בזה יספיק, אבל אם לא תעשה תשובה, here comes and he doesn't make a תשובה, אז צריך שיתגלגל. Then he's going to go through גלגול. לתקן עוונו. Remember, we do not complete our work until we learn to do 613 mitzvot. Some of them we have done. There is Arav Arya Kadosh, Zichron Bracha, explains there are different type of the mitzvot. Some we are able to do, some we are not able to do, some by saying Kriyat Shema, and some by going to mikveh, some by tefillah, some by tzedakah, a great deal by teshuvah. I can cleanse all of them. The tools are all there. How I can release myself, clone myself to be a better version of myself. Very simple. Science, if science can do it, I can do it. It's to clone myself to become a better myself. אבל אם עשה תשובה, אז צריך שיתגלגל בגלגול תיקון עוונו, וזהו על ידי אבא. Who gives you this power of to be able to make another gilgul? Who brings you that possibility to have opportunity to make one more gilgul? Or 2 more? Or 1,000 more? Abba. כי הוא הנקרא מחשבה כנודע. Arav explained that zera, it's a water, starts from my head, goes through 18 knobs of my spine, at the meantime gets impression from every 248 part of my body, my goof. All the information from my goof, not from my knowledge, from my goof, goes to kidneys, gets cooked, and becomes a paste. From light, it becomes water, and the water then becomes milky. It finds aviut. And this zera creates rakia, forms, creates a material that with this material that originally is light, now there is a material that you can make like paste, like you can make form. You can form things, like you take paste and you make a statue. that is what you get. Hanikra machshava. Abba is a machshava. So it started from the thought of my father. I started from a thought, a consciousness that was in my father at the time of a zivug. As soon as my father wanted to make a zivug, Rav explained, my right side and my left side of father, they made the zivug, gave a drop called da'at, and this da'at went through 18 knobs until it went to the testicles, and the testicle cooked them and released them outside. And that caused the rakia. Now, the potential of this, the correction, the mother defines. But the potential of how many times to come in order to complete the potential that was given, that's through Gilgulim. ועליו נאמר חשב מחשבות לבלתי ידחה ממנו נדחה והוא מחזירו בגלגול לתקונו. It is the father that causes that me to come back to גלגול. ונבהר עתה ענייני תשובה. Rav says, let's explain what this תשובה, שכבר התחלנו לבאר חלקי תשובה שהם 8. We already talked about it. That there are 8 parts, and the 5 part of them is in the Olam Atzilut, 5 Partsufei Atzilut, which I am sure Rav is talking. Right now he's talking about the Abba ve'Ima of Atzilut. To be connected, because Shema Yisrael is connecting Arichampin to Abba ve'Ima, the Abba ve'Ima are giving to Zon, and Zon is giving to Bria Yetzirasya. That's Shema Yisrael. So, with the Shema Yisrael, I can go up to who? Arichampin. Arab continues here that Adam is made of all the olamot. That means I have the olam atzilut, which is olam machshava. I have olam of bria, the world of creation, the world of. I know Rav said the machshava by a translation, illumination. But Ari HaKadosh says this is Olam HaMachshava, that illuminates you when the thought that is in your mind becomes conscious. That's already Binah, but that light is a Machshava. And we have a world of Machshava, and then we have a world of creation, and then the world of formation, and the world of action. And for each of those worlds, we have the appropriate power. For the Olam Asiyah, we have the appropriate power of Nefesh. For Olam Yetzirah, we have appropriate power of Ruach. And for Neshama, for Olam Biriya, Chaya, for Olam Machshava, and Yechida, when we connected to Keter, to the upper part. I am sure that all these details we have learned about into the Shema Yisrael, we know it in a more detailed form. I will not continue further and give you a chance to ask a little bit questions.
Can you explain Haba a little bit more?
What comes the future? That means Rav explains, when you make a teshuvah and you put you already put the gather. That means you make sure limit that you won't, that mistake doesn't repeat itself. Don't go back to it. Don't look back. When you corrected something, forgive yourself, get it done, forget the pleasure, and go on. Look at the future. Now, it's very important, Rabbi is explaining, it's very important the person looks a positive future, a happy future, a joyful future, not a negative. Because by you looking into the future, you cause creation. Your eyes gives power to your ozen chotem peh, the light of eyes. So if you see good, your neshama will see good, and your neshama will do good. And that's haba'ah. Now, take the haba'ah and add it together. How much you get?
haba'ah. Aleph 13 یک میداد.
Met. Because there is no tefillah, there is no request ever comes back if Hashem sees that you are establishing this Yud Gimel Midot Rachamim in your life. El Rachum V'Chanun. If you act as a Ish Chesed, he said the secret of being a healer, you have to be Chassid. Until you're not a Chassid, you cannot be a healer. The healer is a Chassid. Abraham is the first Chassid.
You know, so I was listening to one of Harab lectures, so today it was on Korean. He said something that, you know, is related, I think, to our healing process. He said if somebody for 40 days stopped doing one of the habits, he can get rid of that habit, but which was nice, you know, 40 days. In his lecture, he didn't explain why 40 days. But
Moshe, how long took to Israel to go through tests of recognizing that they want to create the golden calf? How long it took them?
From the time that they did golden calf?
40 days.
Yeah, exactly.
In 40 days.
Minus 6 hours.
The day calculation was wrong 6 hours. You know why it says why Hashem brings you the 6 hours? What's the difference? Why 6 hours, not 8 hours, not 10 hours, or not 2 hours, or not 1 hour? Why 6 hours?
Yes, sir.
I think it is Ruach Ra.
Bravo! The sixth feeling, the sixth bad feeling came out. Because of the lack of Moshe, 6 bad feeling came. And what it came? They said, give us Elohim that goes in front of us. They were jealous of Jews, that they had the Ananei Kavod on top of them. So to speak, God was on top of them. They were jealous of that they have a God on top of them, they don't have a God on top of them. And that's why jealousy is the first feeling that came in that Machaneh. They killed. The first thing they did is killed, and that's why Aaron worried. Look at the whole happening. All the bad feelings, they got into a horrible energy that created this scene. It became overwhelmed with negative energy. And this unspoken sin was repeated again. And why? Because the filter of Nachash, which was Erev Rav, again affected Bnei Israel and brought them down. Because they were elevated into the level of Melachim. And because of that sin, they fell down again.
I think another thing is that the reason that this six habit of Erev Rav could affect Israel, because Israel, I think they had this six bad habit inside in themselves. Otherwise, it wouldn't affect them.
Now, it says that Leviim stay totally clean. Now, Levi represents Ruach. Only Nefashot that gave into the temptation of tzchok. And again, they went after what? Sex. What they wanted to release. Because, again, sex is discharge. But they discharged for the what? Tuma. Klipa.
You know, they didn't know how to write this salicha leather. This Persian.
But Moshe came down, gave them a choice. Gave them a choice. Whoever wants to come to the side of Hashem, come this side. The rest, they all were destroyed.
Adu Melamed,
Yes, please.
can you give some examples of the 5 levels of Teshuvah of Elyon? I understand the first Raf Neshama, but the 5 Elyon, you're talking about the cause of all the causes that cause.
Beautiful. No. Stay very simple. Malchut first fell down. Is below Malchut of. After I make the 3 Teshuvah of the Olam Asiyah, Yetzirah, ve Neshama, that means Biriya. When I get to the Olam Atzilut, Malchut is at the bottom. Malchut has to get Aliyah, go to Yesod. Then Malchut, after the Yesod, has to go to where?
To Hod.
Until to reach where?
Tiferet.
You want the Malchut to Olele Bina. Right?
Right.
You want to make a teshuvah, you want to correct it. Because the only way to correct it is the Malchut to go to Yesod, Hod, Netzach, and then to Tiferet. Tiferet is Bina of Olam Chesed.
Right. Okay.
So when there is in Tiferet, when it is in the Bina, now there is one more step has to go to Abba Ve'ima. That means to go up. That means to cause Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet to become Chokhmah, Bina, Da'at. Because as soon as Malchut Ole and goes up, from the Abba Ve'ima to Keter, that's Kametz. Because it went to the Keter. That means now Malchut connected to Abba. And that's when the 5 Parsufim are completed. Another way of looking at it, Shema Israel, when you say you connect to Israel, Saba Ve'Tevuna, Abba Ve'Ima, Ve'Arichampi.
Right.
Altogether 5. There's a 5 Parsufim that you have to complete so your Teshuvah becomes complete.
That's Shema Israel. Okay, that's how did you get to 5? There's Abba, it's Israel Saba Tevuna Abba Ima and Ari Champin. That's 3.
No, Israel Saba V'Tevuna is 2 Achoraim that I have to correct.
Okay, 2. Okay.
2 Achoraim Shel Abba Ve'ima,
Okay.
and 1 is connecting to Ari Champin.
Okay, now let's bring it into like some examples. Like, what do I do exactly without the? Okay, I understand Shema Israel and I understand all that stuff. I understand this, but when you're saying Teshuvah Elyon, I understand Nefesh Ruach Neshama. I understand that, but to go to
Go back to the lesson that I gave yesterday in Mesirat Nefesh. The only way that you can correct these 5 partsufim is by Mesirat Nefesh with integrity. Yani honestly, you do Mesirat Nefesh. That is Aliyat Man. That means with all your power, all your intention, you are ready to give up your life in 4 ways, as you're doing it in Shema Yisrael. Are you doing it for fun? You accept 4 ways of death. When you say Shema Yisrael, you're committing yourself. How far do you mean it? How far do you have integrity? That's what Rab means.
But if I do these 5 already, it's included the 3 to begin with. Nefesh Ruach and Neshama.
The 3 is in the Olam of Perud. It's different. It brings you till Olam Atzilut. The Olam Atzilut, 5 partsufei Olam Atzilut, when you say Adonai Sefadai Tirtachu Pi Yagid Teilatecha.
Okay, then over there in the Lachash, then we are correcting.
We're completing, of course, but I have to make a Aliyat Man at Shema Israel in order to have the power of Zivug at the time that I go to Olam Atzilut. Otherwise, how am I going to get the Malchut to go up all the way to Abba Ve'ima Olam Atzilut?
But in Shema, I am turning Abba and Ima panim bepanim, but in the Lachash, it's the Zivug of Vav and Hey.
So, Zivug, you make a Zivug in order to get from Abba Ve'ima the Shefa that you want. You make the Zivug, Abba Ve'ima has something to give you. Now you create a zivug between Zachar and Nukva, and because of this zivug that you're doing between Zeir Anpin and Malchut, Zachar and Nukva, you get that shefa that Abba Ve'ima got from Olam Elyon and pass it on to you.
So the Shema is basically, till we get to Shema and we do our Shema, it's basically correcting the Nefesh Ruach Neshama.
That's correct.
But once I get to the Atzilut, I am correcting
the Teshuvah Elyona.
Up and up and up.
Teshuvah Elyona.
Okay.
And that's when you're really correcting in the level of Machshava. That's where you're cleansing the Machshava. That's Olam Atzilut. Olam Atzilut, Olam Machshava.
And Purim is working and doing surgery on Olam Machshava, which is the consciousness, which is the Ein Bet, which is the wisdom.
By Teshuvah Ba'ahava, do you remember they said when there is a Zivug Ba'ahava, the child can come out like a Sadiq? Now you are having a zivug on Purim the whole day. We had a zivug shel Abba ve'ima ba'ahava because of the teshuvah that we made is ba'ahava. So what we are getting? Malchut ala lebina. That's teshuvah, right? So you are getting a new ozen chotem peh.
That takes us to
This
to
Ozen
Pesach.
Chotem gives you the possibility of creating a new goof. Because the whole thing is to create new goof. Zayin Tachtonim, Pesach is creating a goof that is totally cleansed of Ratzon Lekabel La'atzmi.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay.
How are we doing? Okay? Any other questions? Then Bezrat Hashem.
1 second. The six feelings again. You said it was jealousy, depression, worry, anger, and what else?
Daga, worry, I said, hate,
Hate. And hate.
jealousy,
Okay.
that is Ka'as,
depression.
Pachad,
Depression.
fear, and depression.
Fear too. Okay, fear. Okay.
Jealousy.
Those six are feeling. But
Yeah,
as
that
soon as you feel injustice, whatever form, anybody, you driving and somebody blows the horn on you and it scares the hell out of you. And you see, that's injustice, and you start getting angry. Now you gotta tell yourself, wow, this guy did me really a great favor. Because if you take that energy, like how Stella does, they make battery, they keep energy. You can save energy. Save the energy. Don't waste it on swearing at the guy and getting angry at the guy. If the guy is, Rav says, if the guy is idiot, you don't have to pay twice for his idiocy.
That means to do simsum and do like to have restriction, basically. This is what you're saying.
You know the best thing I found out to do? Say, oh, buy this. Thank you very much. I thank him. I love you too. Just the opposite. I bring words, I use words opposite to what I normally would use. I would use 4 letters word, that would make me, I think, feel better. But I use another type of 4-letter word, love.
Yeah, I don't think suppression is a good way to do that because it's gonna go to your subconscious.
Oh, no. Now I have to release it.
You release it, but it's a good way.
That's right. But I am in control how to release it. I'm not going to react. I'm going to be proactive to that extent, even if it blows the fear out of me by blowing a horn.
I think the example that Harav said regarding that guy that the pump was hooking to the car, he said, oh, you want to take the gas station with you? And they start laughing instead of fighting, hey, I'm helping you. So you start laughing and say something funny and, change the direction.
That, again, he says, take the feeling, which is the energy, produces energy, and change the motion. That means change the direction. The choice that God has given us is to be able to change direction. Changing direction is in your control. But you, again, Rav explains that you have to want it. You have to desire it. And then you are capable to stand in front of the awesome power of anger. You know how many marriages are lost because of the man cannot control himself or the woman cannot control himself and they get angry at each other? And then they cannot forgive? Many lives has been destroyed because of this energy of anger, jealousy, hate, sadness. Yes. And that's the fight. That's the fight. That's the first fight. If you are not, and that's what Abraham was able to do. Abraham was able to control those feelings. That even if he had to go to save Lot, he didn't say, I hate the guy, because he hated the guy. He went and he saved him.
I think Moshe Rabbeinu was another example as well. He was the most angry person in his time, and he could overcome. But I think to aware of this fact that we know that we can redirect our emotion. I think it is big awareness, to be honest. So many people, they don't know.
If you don't think of it, if you don't contemplate, if you really, as quote unquote, meditate on it and sit down and spend time on yourself to realizing and recognizing those characters, those adjectives in your character, if you don't think of it, if you don't think to Aseret Amokot that we learned how to do in the 10 days of Kippurim, you go inside. Because you want the flow of channel of Shefa. And if this channel is not clean, you can sit down from here and tomorrow morning and meditate, nothing gonna happen. You gotta clean the chimney, you gotta clean the filter. Then you make the machine work properly. And that the whole lesson that Rav gives is really how to make a teshuvah. But teshuvah is cancellation of the ego. Teshuvah is a cancellation of your ego. If you want to cancel yourself, cancel the ego. And that's only way is teshuvah. There's no other way that I know that you can cancel yourself. We are good?
Do you mind to give us some point of Purim as well? Because anyway, tomorrow is Purim.
I tell you, if you sat down and really sit down and looked at yourself in the mirror and look at me in the mirror, this is what I've done. Look at myself, look at your own eyes. Look into your eyes. And then Rav says, look for integrity. And then clone yourself. Because you are getting that type of a neshama and put up for it. It says 3 mitzvot. You gotta put up 3 mitzvot. Well, one of them is Mesirat Nefesh. How much are you ready to give? That's how much you're gonna get. Because that is what Mesirat Nefesh. As much as you give, you're gonna get. But you want to come to the point that Abraham came when Hashem said, oh, now, Ata yadati, yirat Hashem ata. You want to get to that yirah. That Hashem comes and says, now I know you have that yirah. Then you did your akudah. Then you did the yichud. But that requires deep intention. Then Mesirat Nefesh is accepted. And that requires exercise. That requires preparation. That requires meditation. That requires breathing. To come to that extent that make such a commitment with integrity. in temimut, sincerely. And it is necessary for Shema Israel to be activated only by Mesirat Nefesh. We learn this. That only by Aliyad Man you will have the zechut to make the zivug of Atzilut. That means Teshuvah Aliyah. Only. So that Shema Israel gives you that capability of doing Aliyad Man, but Aliyad Man means Mesirat Nefesh. And this should not be taken lightly, because otherwise it's not going to work.
Hacham, based on what you said, so integrity means temimut. Am I right?
Yes.
But temimut is a whole. Yeah. So
Yes.
So it means our level of emunah is completely related to our integrity.
Absolutely. That's amen. And that's why he says, Aaron, Ohev Shalom, Rodef Acharei Shalom. I am looking for Shalom. And everything that we said is included in the Shalom. And I want to reach to that Shalom. Because if there is Shalom, there is Beracha. If there is Beracha, yesh hakol.
Yeah. So based on that, if you're going to continue, so if you reach to that level of integrity, you're going to reach to Nesach, means reach to Bitachon.
That's called, by the way, Shuruk. 3 points. 3 lights of Malchut. That means Hod has both Or of Netzach, Or of Hod, and Or Yesod. Has everybody's light. And that's why it says Shalom. Because it's complete. It has all the 3 lights that makes Malchut. Because Or Malchut is Netzach, Hod, Yesod.
So all the Orot is on Hod, or all the 3 in the Yesod?
Of course, and the Hod. Hod is the Kedusha. Hod is the Malchut of Olam Chesed. Moshe is the Irampin.
Oh, beautiful. Hod has the Orah, Nesach, Hod, and Yesod.
Yes, it's Shuruk.
Wow.
3 points.
Wow, that's why it has 3. Oh, beautiful. So
But
one
in
of them
Yesod, in the Yesod, when there is a Vav and there's a Nekuda right in the middle, what does that bring in?
Yesod, it means that this gives you Hey Chasadim, Hey Gevurot.
Two hands. Okay.
Hey Chasadim, Hey Gevurot.
beautiful. That part was very nice. I like it.
Slowly, we gotta build the one by one, block by block. We didn't get to this point just overnight. And if anybody thinks that overnight they become healer, they are dreaming.
One thing that I see, it is my feeling that, in Farsi we said that when you have had a chemical reaction, you need a catalyzer, so something that expedites the reaction. I think the class of Haravid looks like catalyzer for our lecture, because I feel that, we elevate faster than before. And it is amazing to me. Many concepts, we know. So many, Baruch Hashem, with your beautiful classes, I think all of us, we have bases. But now, based on this, because of the base that we have, I think we can elevate very faster. And it is amazing to me. Each our class is mixing with our class, and something...
Baruch Hashem, that's the beauty of this. Now, what I will continue doing, like today, use the Gilgul Neshamot, the book of Gilgul Neshamot Shel Ari HaKadosh, and section by section, because there are so much information There is so much to know how react and counter-react and how combine ruach and nefesh and neshama. The combination is awesome. It's like a Swiss, better than Swiss clock is working in order to make a tikkun olam. The tikkun olam to happen. That's the beauty. And Bezrat Hashem, we will have the zuchut to experience and see the fruit of this tikkun. Together, by the way. Together. All of us together. So we can, all of us say, you remember? Any other questions? I'll see you tomorrow night. Be well and be happy and Chag Sameach. Clone yourself to something much elevated, holier with WH. Honestly, all of us have a space to be better. And we want to be better. We want to be positive. Take care of yourself. Shalom, everybody.
Shalom, sir.
Azak Baruch.
Recording